Hey friends, Irene Lyon here. Welcome to this video, to this channel, and to this entire world of healing trauma, nervous system health, and all things neuroplasticity. First off, before we dive into the topic for today, be sure to subscribe to this channel. Somewhere near this video is a button that looks red. It should say subscribe or it is red. Click on that. You will then be subscribed to this channel. The second thing is to ensure that you've put on notifications, which makes it such that you are notified when I release new videos, when I put anything into the community tab here. I'm starting to post more quotes and more kind of article-based short mini topics, mini writings. And then the third reason to turn on notifications is once a month, I go live here on YouTube and I do a special topic lecture. If you don't know about these lectures, check them out. At this point in time, we have just under a dozen, I think, long form lectures. They're usually an hour to an hour and a half long, where I dive deep into a topic. We've done things such as anger as medicine, what healthy aggression is, the difference between healthy shame and toxic shame. We've gotten into the polyvagal theory. When I say we, I mean me. I've talked about healing gone bad, things to be cautious of when we're doing our somatic work, and many more topics. Usually these lectures are me talking about a specific topic and then your questions. And sometimes questions are submitted beforehand via email. That is the way to ensure that your question is answered for these lectures. And so that dovetails beautifully into today's topic, which is why I do not offer trigger warnings on my videos, on my Instagram posts, on my vlogs, blogs, all of it. And if you think about it this way, so there's a few reasons. When I'm talking and teaching live, which happens a lot through these live videos, also when I'm in my programs and courses and I'm answering questions live and people are asking questions, I don't know what someone is going to ask. And I'm not going to ask someone to censor their human experience and their lived experience and their survived experience. I am not going to gasp and say, oh my God, I can't believe that happened to you. Okay, everyone close their ears, cover their eyes. It's not like having a 5-year-old watching a horror movie, which I would never put a 5-year-old into a movie theater and watch a horror movie, right? So there's a contextual basis or a contextual component here in that for some things, like a 5-year-old, I wouldn't put them in front of a horror movie or a really, really graphic movie with lots of bombs and killings and World War II action or these sorts of things, right? There's a reason why we have ratings on movies. So this is a different thing. But when it comes to here on this channel, on my articles, on my social feeds, in my programs and courses, on my lives, where we as adults, or maybe some older teenagers who are opting in to learning at this level, to me, anything goes. And so again, when I am in private practice, when I was in private practice, and what I've seen in private practice, when someone is really solid and regulated and can provide a safe space for the person with them or the group, when someone brings to the table a really graphic, gory experience that you wouldn't wish upon anyone, you as the person, the practitioner, is to just hear it, listen, acknowledge, say maybe thank you for sharing, and maybe I'm so sorry you had to live through that, and I'm so glad you're here now and you're alive and you're safe and we're doing this work. I don't want that person to feel like they have to take care of the other people listening or take care of me. And so in that spirit, if you will, I want to put that energy, that level of safety out to the work I do and those that are here, and that this is humanity, man, like man and women, this is what we have all lived through. And even if we haven't been through something like our neighbor or our best friend or our parents have been through, we hear things all the time that aren't nice. We see news reports, all these things. And so to me, when we're working at healing this stuff, let whatever needs to come through. Someone is asking me a question and they talk about an assault or an abuse or an attack. I want them to express it fully, without any reservation, without any need to put a little warning. Of course, if someone chooses to do that in a commenting section, that's fine. I'm not going to scold them for doing so, but I will not be offering that to you guys because A, we're all adults, we're here to learn, and we're really, I believe that we're resilient, which leads me to the next piece, which is if there is a triggering within us when we see something, if there is an activation, is the word I prefer more, which is more nervous system based. If we feel an activation in our heart, or if we feel a churning in our gut, or if we get this sense of disgust, or if we have a flash of how that sparks up some of our own traumatic experiences, that means that we have something to work on. And by priming the content, it makes it such that the person will shift their physiology. And of course, I'm generalizing here, but it can shift their physiology to expect something really terrible. And they might pull back, or they might go into a state of a bit more fight, flight in anticipation for that bad, scary thing that I'm about to talk about, or someone is about to read on an article. And then it takes them out of their natural experience to that thing that is just a human experience and someone sharing something or a piece of education or an anecdote or a vignette, et cetera, et cetera. So this comes back to the rawness of humanity, being resilient, but then noticing how things do stir up something or maybe cause us the opposite to start to shut down and collapse and dissociate and come out of our here and now present moment. So I wanted to create this video quite short. It's not going to be too long because I do believe that we have the capacity to take in a lot. And if you know that your system is still building up regulation and you know that you're building capacity, then listen to your physiology when you're taking in these videos, these pieces of education. I say to my students when I'm in our program, when we're in our programs doing a lot of content, hours and hours of training calls, hours and hours of practical work. The beauty of this online world is you can press play whenever you want. You can shut down your computer screen, walk away and say, I've had enough, Irene. I don't want to do this anymore. And I say, great, because then you are feeling in your system a boundary and you're setting it for yourself. But I don't want to prime you and tell you that you might be triggered by something I'm about to say, because it's possible that you won't be. That's one possibility. The other possibility is you might need to sense that activation because you didn't realize that you hadn't resolved that specific old traumatic event and this brought up something. But if there's that warning, you run the chance, or the situation is such that you might not go into it. As I mentioned, you might walk away, you might change your physiology so you don't experience what could potentially be felt so that you could resolve that old thing. There's just so many variables that, bottom line, I don't offer trigger warnings. I probably never will. I never have. And that's just me. And I know I'm not the only one. I know there has been some research that has looked at this. There was one study that I found. I just have it on my computer screen here. I'll read it out. It's from the Journal of Behavior Therapy and Experimental Psychiatry from 2018, volume 61. And I won't get into all of it. It's a smaller little piece of research. And of course, it's been scrutinized because of low p-values and statistical significance and all this. But it's a demonstration that this is something that other people are thinking about. But one of the things that it highlighted, and I'll read it here, there's two things. Trigger warnings increase people's belief that trauma survivors are vulnerable. I don't like that because I don't think that's true. That's my personal opinion. And then the second thing, trigger warnings increase anxiety to written material perceived as harmful. So that's what I've already mentioned. We might put ourselves into a state of stress when we don't need to be, and it's just not necessary. So a little different today, this video. I really created this video so that when we get that question or we're told, I'll be quite honest, why don't you have trigger warnings, or this should have a trigger warning? Here is my answer. I believe that we need to experience life as it comes to us as adults who are here wanting to learn this information, wanting to learn, wanting to grow, wanting to heal, and to use things that activate us, use them as material, as fuel to dive back into our system and question, what do I have to work on still? What did I not realize was still left inside of me? What just got activated, or what made me shut down, right? Just a quick review there, that how you can go into things that might be a little more activating and work with them. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening. Thank you for learning. Thank you for being here. And like I said, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel, get your notifications turned on, and we will see you next time.